If you need protection, you'll need one who you can trust. To secure your investment, you'll need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
You're always safe with us.
Flow Road to Home is life made simple. One affordable plan that gives you internet at home and mobile on the go. Constant connection anywhere and everywhere, wherever your plans may take you. Switch today and get double the data on your mobile with 60 gigs plus unlimited WhatsApp and YouTube and 400 megabits per second internet speed. Flow Road to Home internet and mobile plan. Your non-stop connection. Visit a Flow store or discoverflow.co for more info. Conditions apply.
Buster! We run things are on we. Buster! Buster! Living color, do it differently. Buster! Buster! Not an in charge, like for the party. Buster! Buster! We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
7 flavors, best taste. Buster, bolder, better, better. Pick your color.
We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
Buster, live in full color.
Buster!
Morning, good afternoon, good evening to all the folks around the globe in the various time zones, listening, viewing on the various media platforms. Welcome to another episode of Voices. My name is Socrates. It's just about 6 minutes past the 11 o'clock hour. We had a little chit-chat. We're in Coach on Sandra's show, and for those listening, like Chris Collins, he's very interesting in learning more about the local Viagra. It's Friday. It's the 7th day of July, and we are marching like we're racing to December in no time at all. We have on the line as we speak Miss Rosemary Donald. She just signing, and I'm glad that you're in tune because a portion of the program today would be donated to giving you thanks and credit. For those who have been following the story, the program over the last few months, I would say 6 months going back, Miss Rosemary Donald has been a person up in New York, a senior caregiver who has been collecting medical supplies, wheelchairs, strollers, etc., to ship to the Federation. And there's been some snags and hiccups. So this morning, I'm happy to say that we are at the process, at the point where after I leave the program today, I'll be going out to customs to collect those items and then deal with the distribution process. So for the folks I want to thank, I want to start with Ms. Kay Bass in the Foreign Affairs Ministry. She was very instrumental in assisting us in the last time and this time around also. Then there's P.S. Rastafari Lewis. And she's with the Department of Empowerment, the Department of Youth Empowerment, Aging, and Disability. She has played no small role in helping us get the process up and running. Thank you very much, P.S. Safari Lewis. Then we go to Ambassador to the UN. And there was a bit of confusion this morning. Is she the ambassador to the UN or the U.S.? We've learned recently that the Honorable Jacinth Henry Martin has been reappointed the ambassador, or our ambassador, to the U.S. So this young lady, Niles of Shiverton Dockery, is actually our ambassador to the UN. And she would have had dialogue with Miss Donald over the last few months when we were trying to deal with a certain aspect of the shipping. I am happy to say I'm very grateful for all the help you would have rendered. Thank you, Ambassador. We go now directly to Rosemary Donald and her grandchildren, Joey and Savannah. Thank you for all the hard work. There are tons of people in the Federation who are very grateful for what you have done. And that's you at the New York, and I'm going to get back to that. Locally, I want to thank Mr. Gene Howell for his contribution. And there's a reason why I'm not going to go into the amount that each person would have donated. Mr. Gene Howell was one of the first person way back in December it was, who volunteered to assist in the shipping and clearing of customs of these items. And the time came when he actually stepped up to the plate. I want to thank you, sir, you and your family, for that great donation to this great cause. Mr. Dyer, we go way back. Thank you also for stepping up to the plate and making your contribution to this process of helping others. Miss Rosita Warner down there in, is it Dead Bay? Saddler's Dead Bay, I think it is. Thank you very much for your contribution. Then there was that lady who came to the studio and just gave $100. That was actually broadcasting, well, live on the show. And the door knocked, to look to her, and there she was with a contribution of $100. And I asked her, she said, no, it's anonymous. If I see her now, I won't be able to recognize her, but thank you so very much for making that effort, coming up the stairs and said, here, this is my contribution to this worthy cause. Thank you so very much for that. Miss Jasmine Heiliger, very instrumental in giving us that check, because we tried to pay at this end. They said no. So she and her husband got together and gave me the amount to send to New York. So Miss Donald was able to address the process. So Jasmine, who don't want to come on radio, and her husband, Othniel Heiliger, who don't want to come on radio, thank you so very much. They actually made a very sizable contribution. They actually clinched this whole deal so that on the 4th of this month, was it? CARICOM Day, the shipping arrived to St. Kitts. Over the last 2 days, I've been running back and forth. You know, when you have things in custom, you have to go here and there, here and there. So I would have left the Ministry of Finance this morning. We left the document yesterday. It's now signed. They are now going to take care of the import duties. So we want to thank you very much and all the persons who were involved in that process. I have that document. I went to Hobson Enterprise, paid the incidentals. So when I leave here today, I'll be heading to customs. I spoke to PS Lois this morning and asked her to get the transport ready. It's a very large pallet of a number of items. And there are folks who I would have spoken to who are expectant of these things. So during the course of later today and tomorrow, I should be able to make that delivery to you. So say, Henry, good morning. Of course, you have been very supportive. One of the persons that Miss Donald would have mentioned that you should, she's actually very much impressed with you, your wealth of knowledge, etc., etc. So I called Mrs. Senwick, the Costa, we know him as Chukai, the Kaisonian, Mr. Dyer, Miss Rosita Warner, Africa, amongst the many who are actually dipped into the pocket and delivered. So thank you one and all, from those on the ground to those in New York, those in government. Thank you so very much for that. All right? Now, I lost my train of thought this morning when it came in on the tail end of that conversation. So we're going to keep it live and lively. Good morning to the usual suspects. Brenda O'Neill, of course, you're locked on. Chris Collins, thank you so very much for your contribution and encouragement. And I'm going to get that recipe for you for the Viagra thing. So I know you have a large appetite, so this would work for you tremendously. 662-0989, 466-0989. The lines are open. We want to continue our debate on various things this morning. I want to send out congratulations to Mr. Reggie Francis. I know for some time he's been looking to build a second pier or docking facility. And based on what a news item I read recently, that's the paperwork is almost completed. And he'll be constructing a cruise pier down at New Guinea. We'll be able to take a large cruise ship. The design would be in a way that the winds that affects the ships in the harbor here, because if we got winds blowing up to 35 knots in the Bassi area, 35 knots and beyond, the ships can't dock properly. They have to tack and go back and forth, deal with the wind. He's saying that the way he will design his dock, the ships will be facing into the wind, not sideways, but, so the ships will be able to dock there. And that will create a whole new or second industry at the western end of the island. He spoke about many tours that go as far as Old Road and turn back. So many of the visitors don't get the experience of going around the entire island. I can promise you that with me and many others, we go around. We incorporate Sandy Point, Black Rocks, Timothy Hill, the whole 9 yards. But some, to a large extent, go as far as Old Road and turn back. This facility will create a new hub of business at the western end. I know some time back there was a discussion of having a tramway going up from that area up to Brimstone Hill. I know they've suffered over the last many years. The revenue stream has been cut in maybe down to a third. So that in itself will generate a tremendous financial impact. He's been working on it. Yes, and he's saying that this will be more or less 100% locally sourced. Not from SIDS or those, but I think he said it's about $20 million US. And they're about ready. So I've heard the chatter. I know he's a very, very... he's a businessman, but with the drive to make it happen locally without seeking foreign funding. And we have to applaud these gentlemen and our local persons and give them support. Sandy Point have a lot to offer in terms of the history. And as he also mentioned, Pump Bay, Frigate Bay, will be the first beach on that end to benefit. It has lots of history, lots and lots of history. So the vendors down there who's been asking for some activity to drive tourism down there, based on what Mr. Reggie said. And he mentioned a time frame of 9 months. 9 months from starting the project to completion. So that's a major thing we have to look forward to. And yeah. So the lines are open. Anybody want to call and comment, congratulate the gentleman, because it's very important that we encourage our own local, what do you call them? Oh, that word. Entrepreneurs? And investors, yes, is very important. I recall, as Sister Henry mentioned on the last program, TDC making a sizable investment contribution to the second cruise pair, right? But at this point in time, we have a call, or we go to the phone lines. To phone lines? Time out? Okay, at this point, we want to pause and give Caesar his due, and we'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM. Flow Road to Home is life made simple. One affordable plan that gives you internet at home and mobile on the go. Constant connection anywhere and everywhere, wherever your plans may take you. Switch today and get double the data on your mobile with 60 gigs plus unlimited WhatsApp and YouTube and 400 megabits per second internet speed. Flow Road to Home internet and mobile plan. Your non-stop connection. Visit a Flow store or discoverflow.co for more info. Conditions apply.
Enjoy the convenience of getting all your documents in one place. At the TDC Copy and Print Center on 4th Street in Basse-Terre, we do just that. We offer document formatting, graphic design, and copy and print services. Our team of professionals truly understand all your needs, whether it be administrative, professional, academic, or personal. You bring it, we deliver it with quality every time. Visit the TDC Copy and Print Center today in the TDC Mall on 4th Street in Basse-Terre or call 465-2511. Your copy and print specialists are waiting to serve you.
Family.
We're back on Voices, and at this point, we go straight to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. You're live on the program.
Good morning, King.
Morning, sir. How about that?
Yeah, this is politics here.
I know your voice is known globally.
Eh?
Your voice is known globally, so go right ahead.
Oh, yes. Now, King, first, I always want to thank God for life and thank God for the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Amen.
Because, King, we got to thank God because we see how, although we're in a hurricane season, we don't get much rain still. You know, many years back, around this time, we'll have flood out with the rain. But I don't know the reason for that. And you know that we water shortage right now.
Yes.
And we got to use our water in
responsibly.
the way that we can control it, and because development going all over in the country, all over frigate, all over southeast and every part of the world. And we got to really do what we got to do to consume water as much as we could. Because we got the animals.
Preserve water as much as we could. To preserve, not consume.
And if we cannot get water from the aquifer, or from the reservoir, or from the spring, well, you know that we in trouble. And then one thing.
Yes.
I just want to see this country move on. Because there's complain all the time, saying nothing is getting off the ground.
Is that so?
The king, we elect a government. We never went on in the past with the farmer government. Was doing well. And because of different talk with fishy and all kind of things, that they went back to the poll, they put an injunction from the former prime minister, and whatever ever worked out, they went back to the poll, and Labour has won the government successfully. They win 6 seats, and we know what caused that. And the people, they make a decision to vote for the Labour Party because, well, I telling the people, all they got to do, take their time. Just look how the government is taking the time. Let them take the time because they're working out whatever they're going to do for them. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And they come in and radio politically, lambasting nobody now because I see what the politicians them all about. Me see what politics is all about. And me know what politics is all about.
Your name is Mr. Politics, you must know.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And this is our country, and we got to see our country move on by some government don't carry the country, real. I believe that under the unity, Dr. Harris was doing a tremendous job. But I don't know. I say again, I don't know. And up to now, it got me bothered to see. I believe that Dr. Joe and the Labour Party has got a gift. Because they had 3 more years to serve in government before election.
Mm-hmm.
Giving up a government just like that, I believe he unfair to the ordinary man who creates unity. The king, that's why I be what I be, and I have no nice political noise to make and cuss nobody. Mm-hmm. Because we elect lawyers, we elect doctors, was in unity, and they mock it, and me just going to stay by and listen what's going on, and if I got any input to make, I will just make it.
Okay, sir.
You have a God bless you. If I get back, I get back.
Thank you for your contribution.
Yeah.
We're getting tuned up by his remorse, but that's how it is. We move forward. I was going to ask him if he heard what he said about Reg Francis' contribution, his investment down there, but because you don't know, or you shouldn't just depend on the government to do things. We go back to the phone lines. Call. Good morning. You're live on Voices. No, we have one there. Let's see this caller. Caller. Good morning. You're live on the program.
Greetings, Kingston.
With respect, one sir.
Thanks for taking our call. What did you just say, sir?
I was speaking about Reg Francis investment. I was speaking about, the last caller was speaking about how things are not working out with the government. And I was saying
Yes.
that we have to applaud those and we should not always depend on government to move our economy forward. I wanted
I agree.
to address or comment on Mr. Red France's investment down at New Guinea, building a second
Yes.
or a third cruise spear down there. But we didn't get to that.
Congratulations, that's in order. I want to add to that, you know. We need more of that, and we give thanks when it is happening.
Mm-hmm.
So, the program that procedures, we want to give thanks for the information flowed. It is what it is, you know. The truth is just the truth, you know.
Quite so.
And we love to say that, we love to add to that to say, the ancient order let your food be your medicine and your medicine be your food, you know, so that's the way to go. But we love to add to that and say that people need to love themselves more. Because that's where it starts, you know, from you love yourself, you know. You're going, you know, I feel like people falling short are truly loving themselves. There's some kind of illusion inside of that. Because people put themselves through some things that is not good for them, yeah? And at the same time, they will tell you they love themselves. I feel like that love need to be more touchable. It need to come out more in action. You know, real, deep, fundamental action. You know? That lacking. We give thanks for getting through with the items for the needy ones.
I appreciate
I owe
that.
you, you know. I owe you.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You know,
But that's okay. That's okay.
They're talking about telepathically with you all the time, you know.
I hear you.
And we give thanks when people find it within their heart, of heart to share, you know, because there's enough in the world, you know.
Another example.
But pardon?
Another example of people not depending or being dependent on the government, we help ourselves.
Yeah. We need to take that initiative by more. Because even, you know, my thing with the nastiness, what plaguing us with the little.
I hear you.
Yeah, man. And I take it upon myself, whatever environment I, you know, I'm not depending upon no sweep, no government sweep, no nothing with government. I keep my surroundings as it ought to be kept. And, you know, that's a perfect example of not depending on whatever system there is. Talking about system, you know, we could take a next 2 minutes and say something.
We do for station break, but just get to the point and then we continue from there.
Okay. Recently we made a sound. We was concerning with the cannabis industry thing going on. And we made a sound and said Babylon is really catching up where the herb matter is concerned, because they went wrong and still have it wrong by keeping the herb in that comparison drug basket, you know, which they should just remove, because it is the only thing in there that is natural and pristine. The rest is really what they say there is, you know, and they're doing the herb a terrible injustice by keeping it in that comparison drug basket. So we made a sound and say Babylon is catching up with whatever they are putting in place in whatever way. Even though a lot of it need to go back to the drawing board. And when we make the sound Babylon, we're not really talking about people. Yeah? We're talking about it, Babylon, it, a system. It's a world system. The Federation of St. Kitts is all part of it. But let us bear in mind still, even though it's a system, the system is not in a vacuum. It is people's decision that keeps systems in place.
People driven.
Yes. So therefore it is very important. We keep echoing this, you know. It is very important that we continually strive to have the right faces in the right places.
Thank you. Blessed
Give thanks
be.
for the time.
Blessed be. Now we go down time to give Caesar his due, and we will be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Buster! We run things are on we. Buster! Buster! Living color, do it differently. Buster! Buster! Large and in charge, like for the party. Buster! Buster! We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
7 flavors, best taste. Buster, bolder, better, better. Pick your color.
We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
Buster, live in full color.
Buster!
It's TDC for me, TDC for we. Neighbor, partner, your family. The best is yet to come, believe me. Moving forward, moving we. Hey, TDC serve the nation with the best customer experience. TDC, you are the one for we. Happy anniversary. Together we succeed, building on strong community, pressing onward to our destiny. One love, one family. Together we succeed. Let the whole world see. Yes, this is 50.
Flow Road to Home is life made simple. One affordable plan that gives you internet at home and mobile on the go. Constant connection anywhere and everywhere, wherever your plans may take you. Switch today and get double the data on your mobile with 60 gigs plus unlimited WhatsApp and YouTube and 400 megabits per second internet speed. Flow Road to Home internet and mobile plan. Your non-stop connection. Visit a Flow store or discoverflow.co for more info. Conditions apply.
We're back with the program, and earlier we were speaking about, we have a call. Okay, let's see what this caller have to contribute. Good morning, caller, you're live on Voices.
Am I live with the king?
You're live and kicking.
Okay, I am live without the recipe that you want the fellow Collins to get.
I don't know about that, but who knows?
I believe you're making the recipe.
It's only when you get caught, first time. Only when you get caught.
Yes, because 60 million Frenchmen say they can't be wrong.
And the population has increased since then?
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
You remember Taximan Dash?
Dash and Brady and those guys?
Yeah, they say they were the innovative ones in St. Kitts, and they couldn't get the job after a while.
Known. Well, remember the husband, Titi Die.
Yeah.
Sarsaparilla and all the different things we were drinking.
Anyway, yes, my good brother, the politics, he said that people saying nothing is doing. But,
that's what he said.
Yeah. The reason why people are using that term is because there was something to assist those who are in need, not want, in need.
Mm-hmm.
And that day is no longer there, and it was not expired by the reason of outdated. It was cut and trimmed.
Okay.
Politically. That is the reason why it cut. So, if there is a hole to be filled, you call that need. If there is no hole to be filled, then that is want. So that is the reason why people are saying nothing is doing.
Because of that one program?
Suffering.
Because of that one program? What they said, I'm not defending anyone, I'm just saying they said that the system was overloaded and abused, so they had to trim, modify, and make it more sustainable because people shouldn't be on it indefinitely. That is what their position is. Of course, persons who are on the receiving end who are dependent on this have a different point of view. But I'm just giving you what was said, so you find...
Well, I heard it too.
You heard it too.
What I am saying, it isn't everybody was abusing the system.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, they are correct when they said they will rectify it and take out the abusers out of it. I agree with that with anything.
Okay.
If you not deserve it, you should not get it. And then now, about 2.5 years ago, I mentioned about having a tramway down at Brimstone Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And I was told that they cannot interfere with that, put a tramway up there because Brimstone Hill is considered to be a national park.
Heritage site, the World Heritage Site.
Right, so they can't put no tramway up there.
Okay.
And then I mentioned, what about Timothy Hill over Frigate Bay?
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't heard any response from anyone with that.
Well, we don't own that property.
Neither Timothy Hill?
We do not own it. That is why they've not put any, I would say restrooms there. There was an attempt, I recall being on the board of director of tourism some years ago, and there was discussion. They actually started to physically create a space to put restrooms there, and they do not own the land. That's the problem.
Who owns Timothy Hill?
I don't know the entire lot, but I recall being in a discussion some years prior, and up on the top would have the reservoir. That was owned by some Arabs.
Oh, okay. So we are a part of South Africa extension.
Well, the thing is, that area was open up to attract hoteliers and other investors. We didn't have the capital at the time. The for lack of a better word, the passport program was started then. There was under Dr. Simmons, but not the way it is done now. Of course, the question is, I was in Antigua some weeks ago, and there were people asking questions, how many passports have been sold? You know, I spoke to a lawyer at one point, and he said he's not sure whether this person who owns passports have the right to vote. Now we boast well our neighbor Stringberry here. But apparently, it doesn't matter where those people neighbor Stringberry, they have just as much local rights as you. Because so if they have the power to vote, they can create a whole demographic that determines the fate of the government.
Tell it.
So that area we call Timothy Hill is owned by a foreign entity. And so we just can't go and put the requisite and required facilities there. We have to go through them and negotiate, etc., etc. Understand?
Yeah. Okay. Let me come in with two more things, and then I'm gonna quit.
Right.
Now, I want to say to people in St. Kitts, there are many ways you can make money. Those who have cattle, go back to the old original style and milk your cattle, just like barefoot and how it used to be done, and sell your milk and compete with a tin of milk cost $6 in the supermarket.
Mm-hmm.
That shouldn't be. No milk, not one tin of milk should cost that kind of price. So therefore, those who have a lot of cattle, milk them and you get your milk, sell and get something from it. That's one. And then use the animal that eat bush only. Use the manure to make fertilizer for our ground. And then our food that have to grow in that area that is being fertilized with those animal dung, they will be more healthy than using foreign fertilizer to spread ground and spreading and all of that there, going up in the plants and we're eating it. Okay. Anyway, let somebody else come in, King.
Okay, sir, I appreciate that. But I would add, and you can listen off here, if it was that easy, the livestock farmers would be all over it. But I have a question. Is there a call there? Let me just fit this in. Why do you need milk?
Why?
Yeah. Are you a calf? Are you a calf or you want to drink cow milk? Seriously, think of it. Your mother breastfed you until you were a certain age of maturity. You got that calcium in your body, right? A goat would give his kiddie, as we call it, breastfeed till a certain age of maturity, and it's done. Same with a calf. So why you as a grown man want to go and drink cow milk? Are you a calf? Explain that to me.
Why?
Yeah.
Because the milk is vital to our body. It vitalizes our body.
But here is it. A cow births a calf, and that calf takes milk from his mother until you reach a certain age of maturity, then it's done. Your mother gave you milk, breastfed you till a certain age, whatever months or whatever, till you were done, matured enough, you got a calcium in your bones. So why at 60-something you want to be drinking cow milk? Are you a calf?
Yes.
Okay. Food for thought.
Yes, man. Yes. Well, you see, the calcium in the bones need to be sustained.
Nature has designed things in a way that you're breastfed up to a certain point and you have enough calcium to take it forward. There are other methods, right? You don't have to be drinking cow milk and goat milk. You're not a kiddie. But that's my point of view,
Okay, that's your point of view.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
You have it next one.
Right.
You have this call, Johnston? Okay, here's what. We were talking about tourism development, etc. Mr. Reg, we're giving credit. But the taxi president, the other two persons and I went met with the Ministry of Tourism yesterday. Present was the Honorable Marcia Henderson and the CEO, Tommy, for his last name. They were there along with the Product Development Officer, the PSN Tourism. And we had quite a detailed discussion. We're looking at the new policies for the upcoming season. And what I applauded them on was the consultative approach that we're taking in terms of getting the presidents involved in the initial discussions about whatever changes they will implement, and we will have an input in that. I cannot divulge much beyond that, but suffice it to say, there were rumors abounding that the taxi drivers will be moved out of the arrival hall down by the rum barrel and all that. I asked that question, and I'm happy to say, in local plans, nothing at all goes so. The minister was very adamant that not such discussion was ongoing, but there are rumors out there that if you take them on, you start to take position and start to cuss and carry on. They ain't doing nothing and this and that and that. We got a call in line. We go back to the phone lines and we lost a person. Hopefully they can get back in more care. Caller, you're live on Voices.
Yeah, King.
Yes, sir.
I want to tell you about the culture, right? That they have special breed of cow for milk. Because I got out a cow that got a young calf the last week, a young heifer. And he hardly got any milk to give the calf. So these cow, where we got a milking cow, years ago, we used to get special breed of cow to milk. When they calf, the breast big, we could afford to milk some of the milk, a pan of milk, out of each one of them to sell. And the calf still get sufficient to suckle itself.
Mm-hmm.
So let me let brother culture know that, because everybody think in the field, this is me feel.
That's the field.
No, the King.
Sir.
I want to talk about past year. You know, we as a tourist attraction. The King, yesterday I was in the circle, the staff. And when I watch the clock, and when I watch the palm tree in the circus, King, I tell you, you're looking good. For a tourist attraction place, and the circus is where most of the guests them just come and take the picture sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking good.
Hello?
The King, you know, when I go to Portland, you feel like I'm in a different place to think that.
Okay,
I believe that's the way Boston is supposed to look, you know. Boston is the main capital in the country. And Boston looks shabby. I'm going to 4th Street, going around things with garbage and all kind of thing to destroy the road and all them things. They're looking good things. You understand? I mean, for our own people, them and all who live here. We ain't talking about tourists alone. Because you got some people in the country don't come tongues for spite. And sometimes they want to go take a walk home because tongue make a difference. You know, to see how nice tongue look and everything. When you go all over the Southeast Philippines, they show nice how they look. Why boss they got to look like that? So I believe that government come, government go. Some government got to take responsible about it, especially on the best front. Develop the place. Get the who them got them banded land up and down the place and them banded house. Get into the people them. Government could do anything. Government got power to do anything. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And take this land and develop them land and make the place look good, man.
Okay.
Build guest houses and things. Up to there, I hear with the article going around. So that if most of these buildings where these Chinese people was doing all our forget there. For the music festival, they will have a place to stay. Some people got to stay with family members, and some people now, everybody now wants to spring up in one house. Some people prefer to go in a guest house or go in a hotel and, you know, comfortable themselves because they're not accustomed to that.
Okay.
You know? I believe Basti is supposed to look plenty better than that. Me and deal with the politics. I see this for myself. You understand? And for years now, this look like that. I said now some kind of development supposed to look into our capital. Okay, the King.
Thank you for your contribution. We do for a break, or we have in caller 9. We just missed the last caller. Okay. We now pause again to give Caesar his due, and we'll be right back.
sound. 98.9. Win FM.
Shopping with TDC just got much easier. Here's how. Log on to shoptdcgroup.com. Shop at your convenience at any time, from anywhere, with your smartphone, tablet, or computer. With our safe and secure payment checkout, you choose the option to pick up in-store or have your goods delivered right to your door. It's that easy. Shop tdcgroup.com, your one-stop online store.
Shop anywhere, shop anytime, same quality you love. Now online. Shop
www.shoptdcgroup.com.
Flow Road to Home is life made simple. One affordable plan that gives you internet at home and mobile on the go. Constant connection anywhere and everywhere, wherever your plans may take you. Switch today and get double the data on your mobile with 60 gigs, plus unlimited WhatsApp and YouTube and 400 megabits per second internet speed. Flow Road to Home internet and mobile plan. Your non-stop connection. Visit a Flow store or discoverflow.co for more info. Conditions apply.
Rams the good food people, always there to serve you. Rams the good food people, locations right near you. Rams the good food people, in-store specials for you. Rams the good food people. Rams. When you need better service, Rams is always here. Better value, better prices. Rams is always here. We want your loyalty. Rams is always here. We are community. We are family. We are family. Rams for you and me. We are community. Rams for you and me.
We're back with Voices on WINN FM 98.9, and we go straight back to the phone lines. Call you live on the program.
How are you doing today?
I am okay. Good to hear your voice again today.
Yes. Now, in terms of the the cows and the milk, the cow and the milk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, it is we have listen, we have moved us far away from nature, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And even though sometimes we see things happening in front of our eyes, we dumb like a bat to these things. In terms of the cow and the sheep and so on,
Mm-hmm.
how many people's mind is this brought to the attention? How many of us sit up and observe this? Now, you realize that we get cow's milk, we get, if we want to say sheep milk, goat milk, as the case may be. But what does the diet consist of? The sheep and the cattle eat grass, maybe leaves, and they drink water. And that body, whatever process, we're not going into the process of how it is done in the body, but that body use that grass, maybe the bush, and water, and produces milk.
Yep.
And not only milk, but meat that we were taught in school to give us first-class protein that they say that we must have in order for us to get all of the essential amino acids to keep us healthy. You following me so far?
Of course, of course.
Right? They produce milk that we say we need. It's essential for us to give us calcium. But how many of us stop to think that, well, whatever the cow is eating to produce that milk, to have the calcium and other nutrients in it, is the same thing, are the same foods that we can eat.
Yes, sir, correct.
right?
Yeah. Because when it
When
comes
I
to
was in school,
go ahead.
when I was in high school, when I entered high school, they have a class that they call home economics.
Still exists in some schools.
Yes. And all students in first form level is exposed to that. And I remember, I think in second form, I remember learning that spinach contains an acid that is called phytic acid.
Citric.
And, sorry?
Citric.
Phytic.
Okay.
Phytic.
All right.
Phytic acid. And it says that whenever we eat spinach, that acid in that spinach, when it gets into the body, it prevents the body from absorbing vitamins D and calcium from the calcium and vitamin D rich foods that we eat. And for years, I did not have anything to do with acid, spinach.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, when the Food Network channel came on, when cable came in, I used to see those same ones whose education we get. They use the spinach, they use the top from carrot tops, beet tops, any kind of greens that they can get, right? And they blend them. Today we call it smoothie. But they blend them, and they say that they use that to detox the body. When I used to see them do that, you know what I used to say? Yuck. They're nasty. Look what they're doing. Did not know any better. When we cook our food was always almost overcooked. If you cook cabbage, carrots, and give somebody, it had to be mushy. Because if it had a bite to it, like it was slightly cooked, and it had a crunch to it, people carry your name up and down the place and say, you can't cook.
Can't cook.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they say you can't cook.
Now we're told to just steam vegetables, not to overcook them.
Right. And even if you steam the vegetable and give them, they say you can't cook. That was how it was. And that's how we were taught, in a way. And I look at it and I said, Socrates, you see the miseducation
Of course.
of a people.
Of course.
But still, in the midst of all of that, I look at this and I say, there's something about us as a people. Because all of the abuse that this body goes through, it still stays up for years. And when you see this body crashes, it has to be that it's after a number of years of abuse,
breaking down our
whether
own system,
deliberate or ignorantly. Because this body, it is so marvelous and wonderfully made that it knows how to care for itself, even though it don't really get the nutrients the way it is. This body that I'm talking about, and our body is the only body who can tolerate that kind of abuse for long. Poor eating.
You mean ethnically speaking?
Long. Sorry?
He's talking about ethnically speaking. You said our body.
Yes. So when a lot of our people moving around with this inferiority complex and feel like they are less than, again, it has to go back to ignorance and the miseducation and the stereotyping that they want to hold on up until today.
But the
I
salty,
don't think that they're really looking at ourselves as a people.
the salty, fatty, and sweet has taken its toll on our people throughout the diaspora. And they say, well, black people are more predisposed to diabetes and hypertension. There's a history to that. There's a causation for that. But we feel that we are genetically inferior. But 400 days of that particular diet has made us predisposed to those afflictions.
That is true. But still, we survive.
Yes, we do. We have.
For years, even in that ill health of state, we survive. So I think the conclusion we have to draw, just like the Bible says, the herbs of the field. The herbs of the field. I'm not saying that maybe flesh cannot be eaten, but I think we have to go back to the flesh if we have to eat them in the natural state. And if persons have animals, because was it about last year, 2 years ago? I think I heard this information coming out of the agricultural department stating that they're bringing in some goats from overseas, and they were encouraging local farmers to come bring their own thing to be sired by these, you know.
Yep.
All that they're looking at is the size, maybe the weight.
Genetics for mass production.
Genetics.
Mm-hmm.
So even if we have our local cows and sheep and so on,
Once
and
a cross
we might
breed.
be encouraged to go back to use our milk from the local, from our cows that we're rearing here. Who is to say that the milk is natural? Because a lot of these animals that we have here, some of them are from overseas, they breed from overseas. And how I know? Because they are treated exactly like these animals from overseas. They have to be given antibiotics. You understand? They have, some of them have to be fed a certain way. When I was growing up, our hogs and our cattle and all of that, it was red fruit. And you see now we have mango seasons. You go up the gut and you look for the rotted ones, bring them down in your burrow, and we feed our hogs and our sheep and our cattle. And, you know, they're fed natural. So we got natural. These cattle and so that we have, I don't know how many of them can survive on the natural stuff.
It's not the same today, but I want to thank you for the contribution. We have a scholar on the line. It's been very educational,
okay, thank
informative.
You. And have a blessed day.
Same to you, young lady. Okay. Where is that last call? I saw it. Yeah, I wasn't quite sure the origin of that, but the chance will come. Okay, I would have missed that. There was a question that Mr. Jamson wanted me to pose, but I wasn't quite sure how, the origins. But yeah, we'll have her again. She's one of our regular callers, and we do appreciate her perspective on the various topics. Let's take one last call before we go to the media newscast. Good morning, caller. You're live on Voices.
Good morning, the King.
Morning. So you got about 3 minutes before we hit the newscast, and you're going to make it short and sweet, do you think?
The King.
So?
Your first caller, Ras Ichut, mentioned the system, and to the caller just before me, let me direct your attention to Genesis chapter 1. Again, I say that we were created in the image and likeness of our Creator's duality, and blessed us and gave us herb for meat. Herb for meat, the King. We have gone outside of everything that is in Genesis chapter 1 according to the story. Now, I mentioned something to you the last time I called in on your program where I spoke about the 666 ether being. Now, there are many school of thought and there are many texts in the book that we gravitate to. But let me direct your attention to this, the King, and I hope Jamster is listening. The scripture says, the first shall be last, and the last shall be first. Mm-hmm. Who are the last, the King? The last is the 6 ether beings, because they are the minority. They are ruling this system, this matrix they are ruling. What does it mean when it says the first shall be last and the last first? We are the first. The last is the first that is on their way out, because the meek will inherit the earth. Follow me, the King. Those who have mastered the art of war and have committed genocide and atrocity to the first and to nature itself, they are on their way out. They're going to consume themselves in this war with Russia and Ukraine. Now, I know there are those who are going to say, war is in Sudan. Who is behind the war in Sudan? The king? They are on their way out because nature is against them. They are against nature. Look at global warming. Look at climate change. Everywhere that these six ether beings have gone on this planet, what have they created, the king?
We are
Chaos.
regrettably out of
Chaos.
time. We would like to
They
hear
have
more of your
created
contribution. Sir.
Everywhere they go.
We are regrettably out of time. We would like to hear more of your
Okay,
contribution
I'll call
after
back.
the midday newscast. Thank you for your contribution. We know we'll hear from you after, okay? We pause at this time to entertain the Win FM's midday newscast.
You found the sound. 98.9. Win FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Caribbean.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
With over a century of perfection behind the Mackeson name, a smooth blend with perfect balance and richness. It's no wonder Mackeson Triple Stout has a legacy of perfection. Enjoy the world over. Introducing our new look with the same great taste. Mackeson. All hail the king.
Please drink responsibly.
With the WINNFM Midday News, I am Kevon Brown. Our top stories: ECCB Governor addresses bank's future following release of 2022-2023 financial report. St. Kitts Nevis Cabinet approve upgrade to the Kim Collins Athletics Stadium. CARICOM leaders have agreed to expand the free movement of people across the 15-member country. St. Lucia's Opposition United Workers Party continues to pressure the government to address sexual misconduct allegations against top officers in police force. Internationally, a U.S. plan to provide Ukraine Ukraine with cluster munitions has drawn opposition from human rights groups who say the weapon kills indiscriminately. Now the details. In the latest episode of ECCB Connects, Governor Timothy N.J. Antwine addressed the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank performance for 2022-2023's financial year. As previously reported, the ECCB incurred a loss of near $55 million, the second consecutive loss for the bank. However, the governor informed the public that this is not the first time the bank has made consecutive loss and assured that the ECCB will bounce back as in the past.
But I want to just give perspective. This is not the first time the central bank has in fact incurred a loss. There will be years when that will happen. In 2013, 14, and 15, we had 3 consecutive years of losses. Then the bank bounced back. We had the next 5 years of profits, including record profits in 2020. So we did make a loss. The good news is that we're making profits again. So 23-24 will be a bounce back year for us. I can tell you the first 3 months of the new financial year, which started April 2023, we are already close to $15 million in profits just for that first quarter alone. So we are seeing a bounce back. And just to explain briefly, the reason for the bounce back is the Fed has slowed its hike cycle because it's getting ready to sort of level off. And we are now enjoying high interest rates. I mentioned 5%. Whereas before we were almost at zero, and then the Fed aggressively rates hiked, so we had investment losses. What is happening now is that investment income has overtaken the losses, so the bank is again profitable. And of course, we're looking for ways to further insulate our balance sheet from potential rate hikes or adjustments. But we are a very conservative bank, so we make these adjustments whenever the Fed raises interest rates.
The ECCB governor also spoke about what is ahead for the regional financial institution. He discussed some of the key activities planned for the new financial year, including continued work in ensuring regional financial legislation is up to international standards, combating the financing of terrorism and money laundering, de-risking, and more.
I think the second area is really the work we continue to do in payments modernization. We have done significant work in upgrading our legal framework with our new payment system and services bill to really modernize the payment system, to allow us to really have new and additional operators in the payment space come to the fore, to recognize the rise of the digital economy, and to have the enabling framework around that. So we've done a lot of work there, and we continue to do. So that's a continuing effort at the strategic level. DCash is one project, but it is a part of a far bigger program in terms of payments modernization and financial inclusion. And I might add, on financial inclusion, for the first time in our history, we did a financial literacy and inclusion survey, the results of which will be released shortly. And the reason why we did that was to better target and shape our strategy for financial literacy and inclusion.
An interesting point coming out of the ECCB's recently concluded Financial Literacy and Inclusion Survey is that many people in the currency union do not have bank accounts. The governor also highlighted the difficulty in opening bank accounts in our region. He said it is something the ECCB will be tackling in the future without compromising security measures that combat the financing of terrorism and money laundering.
It is difficult to open a bank account in the currency union. And I might be jumping ahead and preempting you, but I will tell you that is one of the things we definitely will be tackling in this new financial year. We have to make it easier for people to open bank accounts.
The ECCB governor has challenged the countries in the currency union to double their economies in what he called the big push.
What is the big push? It's built around an idea of doubling the size of our economies, individually and collectively, over the next decade. I asked the question, what will it take to double the size of our economy over the next 10 years? If you are ECCU level, it's 21 billion to 42 billion. But every member country has a contribution in that. Antigua would be 5 billion. Every country has a number. And the idea is really not just strictly about economics. It's really about how do we create a conversation about what could be and should be in our currency union. What do we want our future to look like? And what is our individual and collective responsibilities for that future? Because it requires both individual and collective action. And we've identified some theaters of transformation, like wealth creation, like credit expansion, like digital transformation, like food and nutrition security, like energy security, like human stock formation.
The governor and, by extension, the bank have been advocating for is increased wealth creation within the region, educating and providing opportunities for more people in the Caribbean to create generational wealth.
What do we need to do in these theaters, individually, nationally, and regionally? If we think wealth creation for a sec, what will it take to double your net worth over the next decade? So absolute thought is required, but there's some tools that are available. One of which is how we invest in the regional and international capital markets. So on that point, I remind everyone that in the ECCU, only 4%, 1 in 25 of our people, actively invest in the regional and international capital markets. In the United States, that's 60%, 3 in 5. Huge opportunity. We have $25 billion in our banking system in deposits. We want to see more of our people not just be savers, they're good savers, many of us, but investors, financial investors. Tap that market to create income and wealth.
The governor said the region needs to come to a consensus on the individual, national, and regional actions to support the challenge of doubling our economies in the coming decade. The St. Kitts and Nevis Federal Cabinet on Monday, July 3, 2023, agreed to purchase a new track and renovate the Kim Collins Athletics Stadium in time for the commencement of the 2024 athletics season. During a recent post-cabinet press briefing, Cabinet Secretary Dr. Marcus Natta informed the public of the intended project.
The Cabinet approved the purchase of a new track and renovations for the Kim Collins Athletics Stadium, the premier track facility on St. Kitts. This major track and field facility hosts local and regional events, including the Carifta Games, as well as football and cricket matches, and provides a fitness space for our people. The Ministry of Sport and Creative Economy hopes to have the new track completed and ready for the track and field season in early 2024, and the anticipated resumption of regional and international competitions as well.
President of the St. Kitts and Nevis Athletics Association, Mr. Delwayne Delaney, welcomed the Cabinet's decision. Quote, I am pleased that plans are in place for a better overall track and field facility for the 2024 season. It is welcomed and the running surface is now over 10 years old. We have an excellent group of athletes coming through the ranks and we are seeking an increased interest in track and field. This is coupled with the increased events that both the Ministry of Sports and St. Kitts and Nevis Athletics have been hosting and intend to continue hosting. This also lends to the opportunity for more regional competitions as we are eyeing to host an Under-23 championship in 2024, said Delaney to WINNFM. Delaney also expressed hope that improved lighting at the facility is included in the plan. He said the lighting has become dull over time, which also needs to be addressed. The facility was opened in 2008 as the Silver Jubilee Athletics Stadium, but was renamed in April 2015 after the Federation's sprint icon, Kim Collins. Various portions of the facility, including the track surface, deteriorated over time. There is evidence of missing and broken seats, inoperable bathroom stalls, and leakages. Following the 2022 hosting of the St. Kitts Music Festival at the Kim Collins Athletics Stadium, some sports officials became disgruntled and expressed how damaged the running surface was after the event. The reported damages included holes, indents, and scrapes, allegedly because of the dragging of heavy materials on the track. On March 29th, the Ministry of Sports and Creative Economy facilitated a walkthrough of the Kim Collins Athletics Stadium to assess the situation. Michael Tovor, Director of Mondo Track Division, joined Minister of Sports Samuel Duggins and other ministry and sports officials at the walkthrough. He said, quote, the findings from this initial assessment will be forwarded to our engineers and a full report will be made available to the Ministry of Sports. The Mondo Track official also said the report would outline the most suitable options for forward movement. Mondo was founded in Alba, Italy in 1948. It is a global leader in manufacturing various surfaces for multiple sports applications. In regional news, CARICOM leaders have agreed to expand the free movement of people across the 15-member country, ABS Antigua reports.
I am very impressed. I've been around for some time, but this meeting was really a wonderful one.
CARICOM's chairman for the next 6 months, Dominica's Prime Minister Roosevelt Scarrett, assessing the 45th regular meeting of the Conference of CARICOM Heads of Government. One of the areas in which the CARICOM heads made progress was in the area of expanding the free movement of people across the Caribbean community.
We have taken the decision to seek to have the free movement of all categories of people to neighborhood. Obviously, there are some legal issues that we have to examine, and we are giving the legal people some months to examine those legal issues and to ensure that we can come to us by 30th of March to take a definitive position on this.
Those moving freely across the community will also need to be assured of access to certain basic services. Here's the CARICOM chairman on some of those services.
Access to primary health and emergency health, access to basic education, pre-primary, primary, and secondary education. Of course, we have this security agreement in place already that people can benefit from.
CARICOM leaders discussed the issue extensively, and clearly there may be some challenges for some member states. The CARICOM chairman stressed why this was such a fundamental issue to be addressed.
And at 50, we could not leave children to live and not speak about the core of the integration movement, that is people's ability to move freely within the Caribbean community. I think we would have served and have served the community well at this meeting by arriving at that decision, and we hope that to see that it will be implemented by the 30th of March 2024.
For Barbados' Prime Minister Mia Moore-Motley, who has responsibility for the CARICOM single market and economy in the CARICOM quasi-cabinet, she explains how epoch-making this move will be in the integration project.
The heads have agreed that we are now moving beyond just the freedom of movement of skills to freedom of movement of people. Out of an abundance of caution and to be sure-footed, there are some aspects of the treaty that will require amendment, and therefore we are giving ourselves between now and the 30th of March 2024 to make the amendments, because we recognize as well that there may have to be an approach that does not put countries or make countries liable to any forms of suit with respect to some of the rights. So there has to be a minimum set of rights guaranteed for the movement of citizens. That will be discussed and agreed upon.
The arrangement does not extend to Haiti, the only French-speaking member state of CARICOM. That country's Prime Minister, Dr. Ariel Henry, had asked that the country be excused from the arrangement given the humanitarian, social, and political crisis there.
St. Lucia's Opposition United Workers Party continues to pressure the government to address sexual misconduct allegations against top officers in police force. HTS St. Lucia has that report.
The Opposition United Workers Party, UWP, continues to press Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre on his handling of the allegation of sexual misconduct against very senior members of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. At Thursday's press conference, the opposition again accused Prime Minister Pierre of shoving the serious incident under the carpet with no consideration for the welfare of the victims.
Mr. Prime Minister, allegations of sexual harassment or assault surrounding the police commissioner, acting police commissioner, are not just allegations. These are serious charges that, if not investigated thoroughly, can threaten the very fabric of our nation. If these allegations are not dealt with appropriately, they squash the confidence of the citizenry in the police force. Mr. Prime Minister, if these are not handled well, these allegations can crush our efforts to reduce and stamp out crime in this country.
Furthermore, the Public Relations Officer of the UWP, Leonard Montoute, has called out the women of the SLP administration for remaining numb on the complaints of sexual misconduct in the force.
What have we heard from the Minister of Home Affairs? What have we heard from the Prime Minister? What have we heard from the government? There is another woman who sits in cabinet, okay, who is a policy maker Okay, has Honorable Emma Hippolyte come out and make a statement in condemnation of the allegation of such behavior, given the allegations that were made? Has she come out in any way to demonstrate any solidarity or support for the police officers, the female police officers, who are making the allegations?
The subject of the recent episode of violent crime also received the attention of the opposition, with 5 people losing their lives through gun-related violence. The opposition continues to implore the government to do more to put an end to the scourge of violent crime.
I call on the government to play their role and honor their responsibility and show leadership in demonstrating that they are prepared to take a stand and do something to ameliorate the crime situation that is taking place in St. Lucia currently.
The UWP calls on the SLP administration to step up their crime-fighting efforts and act in good conscience as it pertains to the sexual misconduct allegations by female officers in the police force. Gino Filippi, HDS News Force.
We now bring you these international reports.
The U.S. is planning to provide Ukraine with cluster munitions to help it in the war with Russia, U.S. officials told Reuters on Thursday. The move, if confirmed, would provide a powerful new element to Kiev's counteroffensive, but it has already drawn opposition from human rights groups who say the weapon kills indiscriminately. The White House said sending cluster munitions to Ukraine is, quote, under active consideration, but it had no announcement to make. President Joe Biden is due to attend a NATO summit in Lithuania next week, with the conflict likely to dominate discussions. Ahead of the gathering, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has been drumming up support for his country's bid to become a member of the Defense Alliance. He used a trip to the Czech Republic on Thursday to urge NATO countries to stand up to Russia.
Some people still look back at Moscow. Some people are afraid of Russia. Although I believe that this is a great moment, a great chance to show the courage of the entire alliance and the strength of the alliance, but nevertheless, we are talking about a clear signal, some concrete things in the direction of an invitation. We need this motivation. We need honesty in our relations.
Zelensky's plea received support from Czech President Pavel Pavel.
Here it should be made absolutely clear that it is in the interest of the Czech Republic that Ukraine, as soon as the war is over, should start negotiations on joining NATO, because it is also in the interest of our security, regional stability, and economic prosperity.
Ukraine wants to join NATO as quickly as possible, but member states have been divided over how fast that step should be taken. Some are worried the move will take the alliance closer to an active war with Russia. Meanwhile, the Ukrainian city of Lviv remains devastated after a Russian missile hit a residential building there, killing at least 7 people. Officials said much of the rubble left by Thursday's attack had been cleared. Since Russia's invasion in February last year, thousands have fled to Lviv, a city far from the front lines. Ukrainian officials slammed the attack, while Moscow claimed it targeted troop bases, not civilians.
In Japan, the operator of the wrecked Fukushima nuclear power plant says it's been given the green light to prepare for releasing treated contaminated water into the ocean. More than 1 million tonnes of treated wastewater has accumulated there since the 2011 tsunami, which severely damaged the plant. The operator, TEPCO, said it had received the safety certification from Japan's nuclear regulator and that all preconditions for the start of the discharge had been met. Well, speaking in Tokyo, the head of the UN's nuclear watchdog, Rafael Grossi, said he was extremely confident in his agency's assessment that releasing the water would be safe.
I don't have the authority, or the IEA does not have the authority to stop or to start anything. This is a sovereign decision by Japan and by the operator, when they start, when they stop. What we do is we provide a technical impartial review. If at any point in the process we detect a problem or something which is outside the parameters. What are my basic parameters? Is the conformity with the internationally agreed safety standards. So it's very clear. It's not my opinion or my perception, which is highly subjective, or the perception and the opinions of others, which is also subjective.
That was Rafael Grossi of the IAEA speaking well. Dr. Olena Parunik is an expert in nuclear safety, and she gave us her assessment of Japan's proposal.
The system is efficient because TEPCO wants to ensure the water quality they are releasing, and they also want to ensure that the water quality of the ocean will be fine. So they are basically removing almost all of the radionuclides from that water, except for radioactive hydrogen, which is tritium. So you cannot remove hydrogen from water. So that's why we say that the water is radioactive, because it contains a little bit of radionuclides that cannot be removed. On the other hand, the half-life of tritium is 11 years, and it have been already more than 11 years past the accident, and it means that at least half of the tritium already decayed. And TEPCO claims that they will release the water really slowly, and it will give even more time for tritium to decay in this water.
Well, a number of environmental groups aren't convinced with the release of this water. They don't agree with it. Certainly Greenpeace has accused Tokyo of violating the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea. As far as your understanding goes, have they violated that UN convention?
Well, I think, as for me, it might be a really complicated question, because they have on wages two different options. So they can either store this water, and it will really harm the environment on the mainland, on the soil, because it's like a huge amount of water, or they can gradually release the water, which will eventually dissolve in the ocean, and it will not harm the ocean for sure.
From a social media showdown to a trans-Pacific tussle over trade, this is the week in numbers. More than 13 million was how many people Mark Zuckerberg said signed up to his new Twitter challenger in the first 18 hours. Threads looks much like its rival, but has one big advantage. Instagram's 2 billion users can sign up using the same username and bring their followers with them. Social media analyst Drew Benvey says that could be key.
Instagram has 2 billion users compared to around 250 million of Twitter, so it's about 10 times bigger already. So if only 1 in 10 Instagram users tries using Threads, it's overtaken Twitter in the blink of an eye.
20% was the initial jump in offer prices for gallium this week. That after China said it was restricting exports of the metal, along with germanium. They're both vital to the tech industry, and Beijing's move comes after Washington restricted access to cutting-edge US chips. 96% was the plunge in quarterly profits at Samsung Electronics. That took them to the lowest level in around 14 years. The Korean giant has been hit by a slide in prices for memory chips, normally one of its big earners. 9.7% was the decline in traffic to ChatGPT in June. That's the first fall in numbers for the red-hot AI chatbot. If that suggests the novelty is wearing off, it's still among the top 20 websites in the world. And fewer than 400,000 is how many units Apple suppliers expect to make of the brand's new VR headsets next year. That's according to reports by the Financial Times, which says the target had been 1 million. Apple is reportedly finding the Vision Pro very hard to make.
You were listening to the Midday News on WINNFM 98.9. The headlines: ECCB Governor addresses bank's future following release of 2022-2023 financial report. St. Kitts Nevis Cabinet approve upgrade to the Kim Collins Athletics Stadium. CARICOM leaders have agreed to expand the free movement of people across the 15-member country. St. Lucia's opposition United Workers' Party continues to pressure the government to address sexual misconduct allegations against top officers in police force. Internationally, a U.S. plan to provide Ukraine with cluster munitions has drawn opposition from human rights groups who say the weapon kills indiscriminately. Thank you for listening.
That was the WINNFM Headline News. The Headline News was brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Today's weather comes to the kind compliments of the Cold Pot.
Never before have you gotten a chance to choose exactly what you would like to eat. At the Cold Pot, you have that option. Choose the type of grain you prefer, either brown or basmati rice, quinoa, couscous, mashed breadfruit, or bulgur. Choose your protein. You can also choose your sauce preference to complement your protein, teriyaki, curry, barbecue, or tomato. We also have vegetarian and cheese pizzas, chickpea burgers made from scratch, veggie wraps, wedges, vegan banana bread, the largest variety of local juices, and our signature cold pot iced tea. I tell soup every Saturday. Get your order delivered at coldpottogo.com. The Cold Pot, located in Shadwell, nicely nestled in nature. Call us at 669-6005. Never before have you gotten a chance to choose exactly what you would like to eat. At the Cold Pot, you have that option. Choose the type of grain you prefer, either brown or basmati rice, quinoa, couscous, mashed breadfruit, or bulgur. Choose your protein. You can also choose your sauce preference to complement your protein: teriyaki, curry, barbecue, or tomato. We also have vegetarian and cheese pizzas, chickpea burgers made from scratch, veggie wraps, wedges, vegan banana bread, the largest variety of local juices, and our signature cold pot iced tea. I tell soup every Saturday. Get your order delivered at coldpottogo.com. The Cold Pot, located in Shadwell, nicely nestled in nature. Call us at 669-6005.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Riddle this, riddle that. Horseman's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store is again giving away hundreds of thousands of dollars in cashback for free groceries with every hire purchase. Will be given back this coupon season. Happening now. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in cashback coupon to all our hire purchase customers this coupon season. Starting now until December 2023. You get absolutely free groceries with every hire purchase at our Horseman's Furniture and Appliances stores on St. Kitts Nevis and our Ashley Home Store on St. Kitts. So riddle this. Where can you get quality furniture and appliances at great prices with a flexible FlexPlay plan and with absolutely free groceries with every hire purchase? Riddle that. Cashback at Horseman's Furniture and Appliances on St. Kitts Nevis and our Ashley Home Store on St. Kitts. Riddle this. Riddle that. Horseman's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store is giving you over $250,000 in cashback and a chance to win free groceries for a year. Riddle that cashback. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
And we're back into the second half of today's program called Voices. We call straight to the phone lines. That's beautiful. Caller, welcome to the program. Good afternoon. You're on.
King, good afternoon again.
Good afternoon, how are you?
I'm doing good. Now, let me continue quickly with the point I was making. Now, the King, you and I know that the system, this matrix that we are in, it is run by certain race of people. Now, they have created it out of what we call trade that was first within our space. Now, let us consider this. We were talking about milk this morning. Do you remember there was a time when you used to see a certain commercial on television that says, they show some Caucasian kids and African kids on television drinking milk. And the commercial was, milk, it does the body good.
Yes.
Now, I don't have to go to the point where, because some people already stated that, I think you yourself said that the milk that we drink when we were infant, in our infancy, is the milk from our mother's breast.
Correct.
Now, the lady made the point about the herbivores that they're fed on grass. And again, we go back to what is in Genesis chapter 1. Now, let me go a little further and bring to you two brothers in the scripture, Cain and Abel. Now, here we have Genesis 1 says, the Creator gave us herbs for meat and blessed us. Cain and Abel later down offered up an offering unto the Creator. Well, let me say, the Lord God. Because Genesis 1 did not say anything. No reference in Genesis 1 says, Lord God. Follow me, King. Cain and Abel now offered up. Cain offered up herb from the earth. It didn't have to cry for life. The herb that Cain offered is the same herb that the Creator gave for meat. Now, according to the story, Abel offered up a lamb. What he had to do for the lamb, he had to kill it, yes? Blood was shed. I am saying to us, the king, the truth is brutal. The truth is very brutal. Right there, you got a put down from who tampered with what was perfect and gave us meat. What it says, the offering of the lamb that Abel offered was a sweet-smelling savor unto the Lord God. Genesis 1, he gave us herb for meat and blessed us. No terms and conditions. What he says, live in harmony with your brothers and sisters and with nature. And he blessed us. The king, I am saying to you and all who are listening, the truth is brutal because who have tampered with what was, and remember, take into account that the opposition started in heaven. Now, I am not referring to heaven as a noun. Follow me? Because heaven is not a place, the king. Heaven is a consciousness, a higher consciousness. You have cosmology, you have ecology. We are in ecology because we are eating flesh, and as such, we become flesh. We are not focusing on the spirit, the king. I hope I'm getting through you, you know. Because this is deep, and I am saying to us that we need to trash everything that we believe. Everything that we believe, we have to trash it. We are in the age of Aquarius now, the king, and we are knowing. The age of belief. Let me say good afternoon to our elder, Mrs. Henry. I hope she's listening because I know she's going to come in if she gets the opportunity. That is why I'm saying to us, the king, the truth is brutal. We are now rewriting and telling our truth because everything that we swallowed in religion and Christianity coming from the 666 ether being, the king, there are many texts and quotes in the scripture, and I cannot touch all. But at least what I'm saying should put people's thoughts to think. Because we, all of us, pull these same texts to suit ourselves. I am saying I cannot touch all. And of course, there are those who are going to counteract what I am saying. But it says, those who were taken by chains will be gathered back up into the land of their forefathers. That's you and me, the king. But we don't want that. And because we don't want that, we are in the misery under the 666 who are feeding off of our energy. This economics, this dollar that we crave, the king. Look at all that our leaders are signing on to, everything that is of European. The king, we have 54, it may be 55 states in Africa. And we are the sixth region. You're telling me with all the richness of Africa, do you think we need them? We don't need them. And I'm not saying this with any hate or prejudice against them because I am seeing where they are going to, they will consume themselves. And that is why the scripture says, the first shall be last and the last shall be first. They are the last, the 2,000 years Johnny come lately. They are the first to go. And they are doing it by themselves. They have created everything that is against nature. Pollution, global warming, and the earth is cleaning itself from them, the king. And I want we, the 999 ether being, African Negroids, who get our energy from the SUN, we need to start to aspire. Because all that we have is a lie. We have a lie. And this is why we are hallucinating now, because we are believing a lie. We are fulfilling scriptures, you know, the king. You and me, we are fulfilling scriptures, but we need to see what applies to us, what they gave us, and what we believe. Because when we believe on, let us say, 4,000 years ago under colonialism and slavery? We believe it was brutal genocide and atrocity that they. Ask yourself the question, the king. Before we start killing ourselves, we rule with love and harmony. They rule with hate, lies, death, and destruction.
You're not hearing me. You're not hearing me.
That is why they are going to consume themselves. The king, I'll let others call in.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Okay, thanks. All right, before we take this call, I want to announce this. On Sunday coming, and this would be roughly about, what time frame, 12:30, Chris Collins will be dedicating his show as a tribute to Mick Stokes. And you can log on at www.vibesfm.com. You can call in and make your contribution, whether by call or by text, to pay tribute to Mick Stokes. Right? And you, Jamster, if you want to send a recorded voice drop or call and talk about the legacy of the man, you have a chance to do so. We got your callers? Okay, let's see what the board has to offer. Good day, call you, 11 Voices.
Good afternoon, Mr. King.
Good afternoon, Hump Servant. How are you?
I'm just calling Miss Warner. This is Miss Warner.
This is, yes, Rosita.
Rosina.
Yeah, well, I learned as we go ahead. Rosina Warner down there in Deep Bay, is it?
Yes.
Thank you very much
for
your
call. I'm just calling to say thanks to the organizer for what they have been doing. They heard our cry and they answer to our cry. And
primarily Miss Rosemary Donald up in New York. She's the person behind this.
Oh, thanks to Rosanna.
You see, I got your name wrong. So it's Rosemary Donald.
Rosemary Donald.
Yes.
For all that you have done and what you have given. It's very needful to us because things are very, very tight and some of us really cannot meet our demands. And through this thing, we can read some way. And thanks very much again.
Much appreciated. Right? You know, there are many like you. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. Still online.
Yes, so it's a very thing because a lot of us cannot really reach to the shop to get these kind of things because things are so expensive and it's very, very, very tight. There are a lot of us crying out, but afraid to talk, afraid to cry for people here. I am speaking because I know what it is like when I get the little change and I have to go to the shop and even have to buy a pack of Pamper for $70.
A pack costs $70.
$70.
70.
Yes, and a pack of Pamper cannot last a month, and you have to buy 2, 3 out of the little change. It's very painful, and I'm saying thanks.
Can I say something on your behalf?
Yes, what you said?
Can I say something on your behalf?
Yes, sir.
You were one of the persons who called and said that you're a pensioner. You don't really have it, but you're willing to donate, and you donated $100. That was very important because you're saying, I really can't afford, because based on whatever my pension is that small, but I am willing to give. Yes. That's very encouraging, and I thank you then very much for that. Now we can go publicly and say that you made that sacrifice and contributed to this effort, because as you said, you understand there are many persons who want to talk about it, they want to reach out, but they're embarrassed, their circumstance. So you're speaking on their behalf, and I want to thank you very, very much for that.
Okay, thank you very much.
And I'm going to see you later. If not later, first thing in the morning, okay?
All right.
Okay, Ms. Warner. Thank you about that.
Yes.
Yeah, Jamster, not Jamster, Chris. And there's no resemblance, so I don't know why you got it. By the way, Chris wanted me to ask Culture if you have ignition problem. I don't know. Culture, Chris wants to know if you have ignition problems. So we have call tonight. We take this to the board. Call 11 Voices.
The King,
yes,
quickly,
sir.
I forgot to mention this. Now, I'm going to direct you to a few things.
Please be brief. I got to call us. Come on. Go ahead.
Yeah, quickly. Now, I mentioned already that what we have in America as white supremacy, I also stated before that Moses married to an Ethiopian woman, and Miriam spoke out against that. And she was farmed with a curse for 7 days, white as snow. Now, let me direct your attention and the listeners, especially the Christian community, to this. Leviticus chapter 11, verse 29 to 30. He spoke of a curse, those who have straight ear. I want our people to read the whole chapter, but pay attention to Leviticus 11, verse 29 to 30. It tells you those who are born with straight hair are a curse. They are not the seed of the Creator. They are the seed of the wicked one. As it is mentioned in John's epistle, but we need to know how we're going to overstand, because there's a lot of politics in the book. So I want us Africans to know we are the direct expression of our Creator. We have rejected, and that is why we are in this misery decay. We are eating everything that is outside of what was prepared for us before we were even formed. It is deep, and this is very serious, because the king, when they tell us in the book that we all read that there are going to be a new heaven and a new earth, we are in that new earth, because the earth is cleaning itself today, the king. The earth is cleaning itself. And when it says the meek shall inherit the earth, then if the earth is going to be destroyed and there's going to be a new heaven, why say that the meek will inherit this earth? So I want us to look beyond the politics, because we have believed a lie, and we have to know knowledge of truth that is in self.
Okay.
Thank you, the king.
Thank you once again for your contribution. Much appreciated. At this point in time, I want to give a shout out to Brother Alfonso Bridgewater. All right? I want to congratulate you on your recent palace recognition. I'm not sure what it was, but of course he's been making this contribution throughout his life, and one has to appreciate and pause and say, hey, brother, more power to you. So, Mr. Bridgewater, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, take a bow. Actually, he sang us some years ago in a song. Take a bow. We have a caller line. We go back to the phone lines. Call you live on Voices.
Good afternoon, King.
Good afternoon, sir. You have a question to answer. Chris Collins made a statement of fact. He says, you have ignition problem. We will talk about the brother earlier, talking about the herbs that help you with certain things and certain things and certain things. And he said that you have a ignition problem. So respond to that if you can, please.
Let me
He's
answer
hearing
the
you.
question.
He's hearing you.
Yeah, Chris, good afternoon. Anybody who races bicycles by pedaling, brother, if you know the how what you call it
the propulsion.
Eh?
The propulsion.
Yeah,
propulsion.
Right.
You don't need ignition.
No. Oh no. No, Chris.
He drives.
Look at us. Look at many of us who races bicycles. Count the amount of children we have.
Oh. I see. You are pedaling.
Yeah.
I'm back pedaling.
Oh yes, because all that we study in our sleep and when we wake up is riding our bicycle.
Chris, yeah, the man for himself. Boy, you have ignition problem. All this studies riding his bicycle. Must have that moment of levity we throw out life. So appreciate it. But Chris is the one who.
Let me say something else.
Go ahead.
Sorry, King. Let me say something else. Sorry to interject. This little guitar-shaped island named St. Kitts.
Yes.
It has persons with great potentials. And I'm going to speak it, and some may not like to hear it. But over the years, the greatest, athletes, athletic sports performers, we come from the outskirts of Bastille. Molyneux has produced many cricketers, great cricketers.
Quite so.
And also Mansion. And then come back into town, Keon also. And Keon produced many Calypsonian. Go down in the west, Sandy Point, especially from Mount Idle up to Crab Hill side. Lot of great athletes can run fast. I know that for sure. I have seen them.
Okay.
And I've been among them. And I'm saying this, we have facilities now that a lot of people can use to practice, and then we would be able to compete with a lot of international countries out there when it comes to like triathlon. We have over Frigate Bay. You know, we have 3 roundabouts over there, and they could also run from one roundabout to the other one down by the Central Bank and go back. And then the cycling could be over there, and a lot of activities, and that could create some finance for the bars over there on the strip. And other things, great swimmers. Sandy Point has a lot of great swimmers. Also, what's it called, Newtown and Irish Town.
Well, Newtown and Irish Town being that close to the shoreline should be able to, you know. I know Chris will tell you from Newtown and they got better beaches than Sandy Point, but that's a whole different story, different time.
Okay. Well, a lot of people got good things and they don't know to use them.
That is true.
I don't know if Chris is one, but he should know how to use what he got.
You say you know. I ain't touching that. By the way,
I understand Chris was Chris was somewhere some time ago, and he see difficulty ahead of him.
So the what?
Difficulty ahead of him where he was going. And he so like to kneel long that he kneel long in the side of the road and start to pray. You know.
Okay.
They said, but you ain't have to kneel long. You could stand and he said, well, I'm accustomed to kneel long and pray.
Anyway, if you can join this show on Sunday, about 12:30, it will be dedicated to the memory and the legacy of Mick Stokes, right?
Oh, yes. What time you said?
Roughly 12:30 on Sunday. You know, he's in the UK, they're ahead of us by a few hours.
Yeah.
And it's www.vibesfm.com. www.vibesfm.com. There's a number. No, there's a different number. I'm going to put his number out later on. He asked me to give Jamsey's number also, so we're going to look at that. And let's call in and make a tribute. We're going global. We have a very wide listenership. Play a lot of local music. He actually promotes our music. One of the things we're grateful for. And so he'll be featuring the work of Mick Stokes. We'll be paying tribute. I do intend to be on one of those calls. So spread the word out there. If you yourself can't do it, let's honor our own people out there.
Sorry, and just before I go, you notice over the years that there was a lot of discrimination dish out to persons, great people of great potential in the rural areas.
Of course. Even here locally.
They used to say, oh, he from the country, we don't want he. She from the country, we don't want she. But they are where the greatest people come from.
I am not going to mention SP. I ain't going to say anything about SP. Go ahead.
Let me talk about SP. The only thing I had in SP was 2 girlfriends. I never...
When your ignition was working? Go ahead.
I never lived there, but I had 2 girlfriends when I was driving the beer truck. And SP people are great people. I love SP people. They're friendly, very, very friendly. As a matter of fact, I used to go down Pump Beggar Beard from Buckley's.
Go to drive?
Ride me boy, go Sandy Point and go down Pump Beggar Beard. And there is where I met many great people from Sandy Point, right down the Pump Bed down there. And I always love to be in Sandy Point. Love it. And again, look at it. 2 great Calypsonians who deserve to be king and queen. They're from down in the West.
I ain't touching that.
Why they discriminate and refuse to give them their crown on their head?
Well, it happens. It happens. Human nature. You know, have special treatment for special people. favoritism.
Right. That is wrong. Look what happened there just Christmas gone there. Look at it. I spoke about it already, and I'm going to talk it now again before I get off the phone. You were supposed to be the king the night when you sang your calypso. But the queen was crowned the same night, and then in the morning, the queen landed in Mountstrat Airport to represent here as the queen of calypso. How that come so quick?
The monarch. I don't know. You're asking the wrong person.
Okay. How that comes so quick?
I don't know.
My friend Chukai and politics could tell me because they study a lot of calypso.
Okay.
Okay then.
All right. Any caller there? I was asked to share a bit of information about the Calypso judging workshop that I facilitated in Antigua a few weeks ago. The feedback from them, and this is me speaking about what happened there, but I was asked to discuss it. Senior judges reported in the feedback, they were the thanks, that was one of the better workshops they would have attended, because there was 2 days workshop. I made it more interactive. I didn't sit at the head table or at the podium. I was going back and forth with the microphone and asking questions, probing questions. It's called the Socratic method of teaching. And so on the second day, I got a number of young Calypsonians. We did a couple of judging exercises of songs selected from mainly Antigua's 2012 Calypso competition. And I gave them some songs. There were 1 or 2 from the last year's competition. At the end of the exercise, when we look at the score sheets and the point spread, junior Calypsonians in their score sheets, when you compare them to that of the senior Calypsonians, example, suppose a junior Calypsonian would have given certain points for presentation, say 7. The senior judges would give 8 or 6. And this was consistently done throughout the entire exercise. So the whole idea was to get the judges and the Calypsonian on the same page as to what's expected of them. Now, here in St. Kitts, we have judging workshop and only judges show up. Calypsonians are invited. Many, many times the Calypsonian don't know exactly what is required of him. We think we know it all. Things change. Now, we use 2 systems. We use the ranking system and we use the high and low. Each produce different results. The same panel, but when we look at the ranking system and we look at how we scored, we took a totality of all the points. And then there was consensus on who the winners would have been. When we use now the same score sheets and we throw out the highest point and the lowest point, it produces different results. Same judges, same sheets, but the method used, the high and low, plus the ranking system produce different results. So one has to look at that. One of the questions we ask if says Jamster have a great song and you know it's hitting, but culture come on ahead as number 1. With a good song he's presenting, you're wondering, do I give culture the highest marks or do I reserve the points because no Jamster coming? We're only human. We discuss whether it's good for the judges to familiarize themselves with the songs before the competition. Some people say they don't listen to the songs. They come directly to the show to hear the song for the first time. They have to be practical because some people know the song before. They come prejudging the song because they know it. Then the artist may not sing it their way and they question why he didn't sing it the same. So some prefer to hear the song presented for the first time. We look at by the way, one of the songs I used was Craig's rendering of We Go Rally Again. Deliberately so. And when I played it and the drum screen and they listened and we debated on the point of originality. That was a key thing. Great. It was well written, well performed. And he was ahead on the score sheet, but for originality. And they pointed out that line, once I hear it, I'm thinking David Rudder. It wasn't one liner. It's in the chorus, so it's repeated over and over again. So on the point of originality, they would have marked him down. I played one of the songs that our current monarch rendered on the night, and the very, very first question from a senior judge, is that a calypso? Very first question, is that a calypso? So it made for great debate. We look at Protector in Trinidad presenting. He had singing Sandra with great, what they call presentation, props, etc., etc. He came on without any. And he presented. I said, how do you score him against, say, De Beer, for bringing all that drama? Now, he stood to a fixed mic, this is Protector, and he delivered his song, his body language, his gestured. That's presentation. Your body is your presentation. We get confused with props and presentation. We talk about the colloquialism in song versus what we call proper grammar, etc., etc. We discuss all that. A guy came on with a college, graduation attire, etc. But his song had nothing to, his costume had no relation to his song. We spoke about my presentation during the last competition. And one of the reasons why I didn't really kick up is because if I'm a judge in the audience and I'm seeing props on stage in the first, second, and third verse that has no relation or correlation to what I'm singing, I'm a judge, I went, what's that? Those props should have been brought on during the fifth verse that was written to deal with that presentation and that impact. But there was a miscommunication and all my props came on in the first verse. So we looked at that. And one of the judges said, well, I was confused. I'm seeing wheelchair on stage, first, second verse, but there's nothing mentioned about them. So that went to discussing how Calypsonians can use props that works against them. You must be cognizant of when you bring on this particular aspect of that relates to your song, it has that relation, so you just can see a visual. Because we hear the songs, but you want to go and see a show. That's a big difference. So when you put on a show, you have to be very careful how you dramatize, how you use that platform to further bring forth a message. And it's one of the reasons why when they say I didn't win, I say, maybe. Because if I'm a judge, I want to know what does that person or that particular prop have to do with what you're singing in the first, second, and third verse. So we covered calypsos from St. Kitts, from Trinidad, from Grenada, across the region. And we used those for the judging workshop. But most importantly was the results that showed that the Calypsonians was then on the same page with the judges. You have to have that. So whenever there's a chance to get new workshops in St. Kitts, we need to have the Calypsonians to attend. There you go. So that's me talking about what happened. We're going to take time now for giving Caesar his due, and we'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Here are your Hortford's Value Mart IGA specials from June 29th through July 12th. Now our Value Club Blue Tag specials. Almond Breeze, almond milk, just $9.99. Kellogg's Cornflakes, $21.99. Planters cheese balls and curls, $9.99. Essential Everyday Grated Parmesan, just $11.99. Hot Pockets, $14.99. IGA and Essential Everyday Canned Fruit, just $8.99. And now, our very low weekly value deals. Essential Everyday Ketchup, $4.99. Malta-Meal cereals, $13.99. Ensure drinks, $8.99. IGA and Essential Everyday Mac and Cheese, just $2.79. Essential Everyday Freezer Bags, $8.99. Stay fresh with Equaline Mouthwash, $9.99. Shop smart, shop Value Mart. Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en Value Mart.
Good afternoon. We're back in the second half of the program. It's about 8 minutes past the 1 o'clock hour, and we're told there's a call on the line. Caller, you're live on Voices.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sister Henry. How are you?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon again. How are you?
Oh, you're giving God thanks, man. Great
First
to be
of all.
alive. Lord, what a piece of heat. All of you plan to go hell. Think again.
Oh, we plan?
But all who plan to go,
I see.
all who on this for second, third, and fourth, and fifth eater, 7 and 8, and
9.
9 and 6, and all who plan to go. What a piece of heat, eh? I beg the Lord, please have mercy on us.
Yes, well, globally, the weather
Good
patterns have
afternoon,
changed.
my good friend Journey.
He did call your name, so?
Yeah, my good friend, my good friend.
Mm-hmm.
One of these days you can come on the radio preaching the gospel, you know, so I am not worried at all.
What is he preaching now?
It is in the night eater, you understand?
Ether, yeah.
Anyway, what I call to big up a kitchens. This morning I was listening to a program on ZIZ, the early morning thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard Christus Wallace. You know Christus Wallace?
Yes. News that also.
Yes, he was talking about a couple, Sylvester Leader and his wife. Now, if I am not mistaken, Sylvester's supposed to be my old-time Facebook friend from the village. I think he's a preacher, you know, coming out of the UK. And what he said is that Sylvester and his wife have brought along, I think he said 300 packs of seeds. And Christus is planning to launch something called Children Garden Back and Front.
Okay.
The aim is to promote
Agronomy?
agriculture among children. So he said that they were going to have the handing over ceremony sometime this afternoon or evening. So I want to compliment Mr. Leader and his wife.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm always pleased when our people do something. Anything, and I'm proud of you, you know. When you go Antigua, you show what Kitchens can do.
Mm-hmm. Very well appreciated.
Believe it or not, we are one, you know. I learned a long time to say when Antigua man want to, I become St. Kitts.
Well,
I don't know if it is the other way around.
My maternal grandfather was from Antigua, Samuel Joseph.
I'm telling you, I first heard it when I got married. I went to Antigua. This fellow said, boy, when Antigua man want a wife, not a woman, a wife,
oh,
they come to St. Kitts because they were saying that the Antigua women are too aggressive.
So
maybe that changed by now, you know what I mean? Maybe we are now the aggressors.
All things are possible.
Anyway, the next thing I want to talk about is the comment made by the governor of the ECCB and how we allow people to confuse us. He was talking about on ECC Connect about the financial status of the bank. Of course, the dollar is heavily backed. By that, it means that for every $100, there is 95% back by foreign exchange, eh? Not gold, because somebody's talking about gold.
Gold standard, yeah.
Yeah, but it is foreign exchange, which means that we have enough foreign exchange to finance our trade. That's what it means, you see? So if St. Kitts don't have enough, they pool all the foreign exchange and the bank controls it. And he makes sure that there is enough to keep the economies of the ECCB or ECS afloat. Now, he mentioned that the bank made a loss last year and this year. This is what I'm coming at. I don't know if you heard our esteemed Prime Minister talking about, National Bank, and he had to bail it out. You know what I mean? Give people the reason, the same reason that the governor gave for the bank making a loss. It's the same reason they make. They gave people the impression, well, you know, that if you are investing abroad and anything change, it can cause, it could even wipe you out.
External shock.
Yes, exogenous is the word, exogenous. Now, so, as he said, when they went into the market, it was at 5%. Then the Federal Reserve carried the rate to to below zero, which meant that whatever you had invested, you lose. You follow?
Of course.
So it isn't that the people that went out there to throw away the money. You know, this is
By
why
the
I say
people who
our
are you
people
referring
need,
to? By the people who are you referring to?
You know, so when we make this, and I had to go in and stabilize the bank and stabilize, I said to myself, Lord, for heaven's sake, let the people know we have to stop assuming everybody's stupid, you know. I keep saying it. There's an assumption by some people that ordinary people don't understand anything.
Finances.
And therefore they don't take time to explain. They don't take time to explain. But the comment is made to ridicule other people. You know? So I must commend the governor. I really like him, you know.
Antoine?
Yeah, Antoine. He's not hiding it. And I haven't heard any of the leaders of the bank or the monetary
Push back against it.
Hello?
They have not pushed back against it.
No, what am I saying? They heard the reason. And this is why I say for our countries, we need to tell people the truth. Now, when you go in and say that the thing was in red, say exactly what you mean. Does it mean we did not sell enough passport or whatever? Because, of course, if you have a recession, if you have a COVID, and the economy almost shut down, you can't expect to have a surplus. You understand what I'm saying?
I am following you now, but it's for the listeners to understand, so I'm letting you speak.
Yeah, you know, you can't expect. And anything bolstering is the citizenship. All we do, we intensify our sales.
Reduce the cost, actually, per passport.
So this is what that is floating us. So when we say, you had to nothing, you just have to sell more passport. And may the Lord bless this country. But I am saying for all of the ministers and all of the people, even the explanation given by Azila Clark and the minister is lacking, because they have to face the facts that they have pushed many more people further into poverty, no matter how you turn it or twist it. While correction is required, time and place is always important. When you throw them off and the economy has not recovered, what have you done? You see what I mean?
Well,
what have we done?
There's a lot of talk going on. I try to stay above it, but early this morning, Mr. Politics tried to talk about the feedback from the public and the general sentiment, nothing happening. Blah, blah, blah.
I expect that. And anybody with sense will say, look, if you are better off, and if you, because some of them were saying, well, they're making more than 3,000, but they have debt. That part is your burden. But when you are going to say, if somebody is working for minimum, you take them off and put somebody who is working in the place, are you helping?
No.
Are you hurting?
It sounds good on paper, right? Because you're sharing, you're looking at the most vulnerable.
Yeah, but
then again...
You see, this is what I'm saying. It's so good to say. Anna, I said, Lord Jesus, have mercy. All it means, what the government don't pay there, they're going to pay other place. They're going to have to buy more uniforms. See what I mean? More books, more this, more that. And they made sure to say you can get a food voucher, but you're not going to get it every month. What we need, and if some...
We have to call us?
Our people would. We could go out and bring in people, Or we could encourage some of these other companies to diversify, because we have too many merchants. You don't see that?
Of course.
St. Kitts is a country of merchants.
And it's going. The numbers are going. The numbers are going.
Merchants do not produce anything. What they get is called a margin or a markup. They don't produce anything. We need to have people diversifying. I don't know. And the one about the CARICOM. CARICOM, you see how the big countries pushing this thing about everybody on move? They are trying to
Free movement,
unload
their population.
their load of unemployed people on us. Is that, you know? You go to university and before you reach by the immigration desk, they're giving you time. It's just, they're not so keen about, if they were keen about people moving,
Exchanging
they would
of
not
skill
have
sets.
excluded Haiti. So don't nobody fool you.
That's a valid point.
They are looking for places to unload the unemployed. All right then.
Thank you for your contribution. As usual, it's very educational, and there are folks who would call to contend, but at least you have a debate at that level. Person who knows it, and economists, etc. We do appreciate your contribution. We now pause for another commercial break. Is there a caller waiting? Caller, you live on Voices. Good day, caller, you live on Voices.
Okay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I am okay. Miss Henry couldn't put it better. Before she said what she just said, I said it. The floodgate is open yet, and they don't start to flock here. What going to happen when the gate open? Is here they coming in, okay? We don't want the guy nowhere out there, no? Is here they going to come? The floodgate is open yet, and they don't start to come.
You would not see the need to go out there. They say need to get out here. And as she pointed out, it's designed to offload that sector of the population that's unemployed.
Exactly. How much petition you got over here in the OEC?
But then again, when they get here, we accommodate them, especially if it's just prior to an election, because we want their votes.
I'm glad you said that, you know. I'm glad you said that, you know, because this is why this guy is fighting for the nation, you know. He's looking future X, you know. I can't on him. You through the line. Anyway, back to Mr. Culture and you. Culture now, you is senior in the Calypso finals. Well, you must ask, why you gonna ask me? Why you man end up with money at the next day?
I don't know what you guys discuss offline, but say you're supposed to know.
That's what why put him in. Yeah. You wasn't in the finals, I wasn't in here.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's because I leave a lot of that for the audience and the viewing public to debate. And once they say, the general consensus is that it was wrong. There's somebody who's on, I won't call the names, said, you know, once Labour in power, he can't get recrowned. I don't let that bother me. I have my contribution to make. I shall continue to do so. So all those shenanigans, I've been there time. And I was talking to a Calypsonian yesterday. The boy, they tell knock me about, I want to give up. I said, listen, they ain't going to stop me. King Francis some years ago said, as long as the then Minister of Culture was still in office, he will not sing Calypso. It was Jacinth Henry Martin. There was some shenanigans that went on during the competition, and he said, as long as she's there, he will no longer, and we would have lost his contribution. None of them could stop me. There's a higher power that controls that. Until that power manifests itself as Socrates don't compete, they can't stop me. They cannot discourage me. But that's what it is.
We not lose, you're still there.
We not ask Bueller. Win or lose, I'm still there.
You're still there, you're still there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the good thing about you. That's the sportsmanship about you.
But Culture said that you know why, so ask you. So if you can't answer, well, I don't know.
No, you were there, you were in it. How I can answer? Me and you think I listen to the show.
I mentioned your name today in giving thanks and credit because the items are here. Upon leaving the program, I will go to customs and clear what I can. Well, the entire package. P.S. Lewis Tafari, she would have put transportation in place. So I'll be going from here roughly about 2 o'clock up at customs to clear the items. You had a hand in that because you made a monetary donation, and I want to thank you once again. Now you're in line for that also, right?
No problem, I appreciate that. Back to Culture, may finish with him. He said you don't go use to left on the pump like a beard?
Yeah.
You hear what I'm saying him?
Pombe. Hey, we're going to take a commercial break before we continue. You went to Pombe. Okay, good chuka. We talk after.
The Sound 98.9.
Get ready for the biggest sales event of the year. It's the Horseman's Furniture and Appliances major sales event, where we're slashing prices by 20% off on all major appliances. Are you looking for amazing deals on refrigerators, stoves, large appliances, washing machines, and even microwaves? Well, look no further. From the latest models to top brands, Horseman's Furniture and Appliances has it all at unbeatable prices. Whether you're upgrading your kitchen or replacing old appliances, this is the perfect opportunity to get major savings and save big. These deals won't last forever. This is a limited time opportunity to snag the appliance of your dreams at 20% off and get double cashback coupons with every purchase. Don't miss out. The Horsewood Furniture and Appliances major appliances sales event, where quality meets affordability. Don't miss out on the biggest discounts on refrigerators, stoves, large appliances, washing machines, and microwaves. Hurry in today and make your home a major delight. Major savings, major discounts, 20% off on major appliances, plus double cashback for free groceries. Happening now at Horsewood Furniture and Appliances. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
Okay, we go directly to the phone lines. We are actually coming to closing hours. We got 5 minutes to go. So caller, let's hear what you have to say. You're live on Voices.
Yeah. Good afternoon, man. I just had a quick, small question for you. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but when you went up to Antigua for that seminar, Calypso, what is it? Judging.
Judging, yes. 2 days workshop.
Okay. You remember you mentioned that you had a song and they didn't like that verse and you had to switch up. And you had bus.
Where in Antigua?
No. You
Yes. Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Was any mention of that in the seminar that the committee or whoever is trying to dictate what the Calypsonians sing or whatever? That's like they're trying to block your freedom of speech, because there was another incident in I think it was St. Vincent or something. Another Calypsonian was in the same position like you, but he did not change his verse, and I think he might have been successful in his performance. But I just wanted to know if there was any mention of any type of such thing like that.
No, what I mentioned
in terms of your freedom of speech and your freedom of expression.
What I mentioned that at one point here in St. Kitts Nevis, the judges list had to be approved by cabinet. I stand by that. I can speak to what happened then. And there was a particular subcommittee chair had to turn off her phone. Certain government would call on harass her. They want to see the judge of this. They want to see, because that day is Socrates kicking them in the shin. So, for facts.
Yeah, other than that, real quickly before you come off, man, for the Pan-Africanist guys now, I want to let them know that in Ghana there, Kwame Nkrumah, the
legacy,
the place of dedication for him there, the memory.
Yes,
it's like a place of interest in Ghana for Kwame Nkrumah. The government there has now upgraded the park, and they have improved it, so that they can attract more visitors to the site. So I would encourage people down in St. Kitts and Nevis to try to get them places of interest up the par as well, because it's going to increase the tourist numbers. You know what I'm saying? Because people would come in for the attractions.
Okay, so
that's my contribution, man. And have a good afternoon, man. All right.
Thank you so very much for that. We got about 28 minutes down past the 1 o'clock hour. We're about to wrap things up. So today we discussed quite a variety. You have a next call? Okay, it's called Voices. Call you live on Voices.
Yeah, bless, give thanks.
Respect.
Yes, once again. I call to highlight this, and I want the people to take it seriously, that heaven and hell is in one's heart. You check?
In one's heart. It's in your heart.
Yes.
Okay.
So every day, the devil does call in, every day the angels them does call in, good angels. So when people talking about the place hot and going to hell, right is hell and right is heaven. Yes.
Respect that.
You know what I want us to do? I want us to practice to be very slow, to anger. Because we too quick to get aggressive, and we just take long to release it. And that is the problem. if we learn to be slow to anger, right, and if we learn to respect each other, you know what I mean, we'll be more prosperous. The earth will heal itself, rain will start to fall again, and everyone. But this foot tat and this little, nosy tail we're playing here on the earth is not going to get us anywhere. I mean, everyone have the chosen one, but I want us to learn to respect each other, you know what I mean?
It's a great point to end today's program, and thank you for your contribution.
It pains me hard to see our behavior, you know what I mean, especially in the political role, as we call it, that if one going inside there and we in favor of that one, we even got the idea, we cast that one, excuse me, rather than try to big up that one, because hear this now. When this one leave from office now, and the one that we chose go in, we can start the one now who didn't even start to criticize the one who so we can just
quite so
go on and here. So the best thing for us to do, even to respect the devil, trust me. As long as we respect him, I think we respect ourselves. You can't
thank you
the devil.
So very much for that. We are out of time, but there's a great note to end the program on. If I may do a brief recap today, we spoke about giving credit to Mr. Reginald Francis for the investment he's making down at New Guinea to build a third cruise ship pier. We spoke about the shipment of medical supplies and stuff like that was sent by Ms. Rosemary Donald, the assistance from the PS Safari from the ambassador to the UN, Ms. Nayas Chatterton, Dakari, and all the folks who would have made their monetary contribution to see that this process is carried out. I'm leaving here shortly and going up to the customs to clear that. There is a truck put up there for 2 o'clock, and we'll be dealing with the distribution process. We spoke about culture needed a jump start. The last call talked about there's the reason why you go down to Pump Bay and all that. I want to say good afternoon to Rosemary up there, to Joey, Savannah, and the entire crew. And we shall... It's a beautiful Friday here in the Federation. It's weekend. We wish you a safe one. It's a bit overcast. It's a bit muggy. Globally, the weather patterns have changed, so we live with it. But we count the blessings first. On that note, we want to wish you peace, love, and a brighter tomorrow from the studios of WINNFM 98.9.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is WIN FM.
Many get